Oh, it's weird how a car can make you watch a movie you haven't seen in like, oh man, like 20 years. My dad made me watch this movie when I was like 6 or 7 years old. He was into making me watch a lot of movies I shouldn't have at an early age. And to be honest, I don't like watching any movies that curse a lot or blaspheme God's name, but try and muffle that out and enjoy the movie. Oh, look at all these guys. Oh no. Skynet, baby. I just ordered one of those license plate holders. It's all about Skynet.
I'm gonna kill that guy.
Of course, I'm a Terminator.
Listen to me very carefully, okay? You're not a Terminator anymore, all right? Got that? Got that? You just can't go around killing people.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because you can't.
Why?
Because you just can't, okay? Trust me on this.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. So as you know from the title, I bought another car. It wasn't easy. As you can see here, these are all cars I've checked into. And I've went and looked at a few of them personally. Yeah, the first one I actually found was a nice LX here. And I was going to get this thing for like 2,500 bucks. And this, he said you could eat off the 4-cylinder motor. And I mean, it was a Calypso color car, I think, or it was that blue teal. I couldn't really tell from the pictures. Sunroof car, you know, nothing that great. 5-speed car though, but people pay good money for a solid Mustang to swap motors into. So that was always there. I was gonna get that, but I really wanted a new Edge. So my search took me really far. I was trying to get an SN95 too. I had a deal to get this car right here. This thing was garage kept its whole life, spotless, no rust, drives great. I had a wedding the same day that this car popped up, and I was telling the guy, I'm like, can I just pick it up tomorrow? You know, I'll bring full cash. I'm like, I'll even give you a deposit now. And he was saying no. And then one guy looked at it and said he might be back. He's going to check out some more. So he called me and said it's still available. And I said, can I please just put a deposit on this car and I can come back tomorrow, you know, first thing, and I'll take this thing. And he says, okay. So he wanted to send him $1,000. So I told him I'm going to run to the ATM, make sure it's good, and send it real quick. And I'll send him a message. I do that. I'm about to send it. And he goes, it's sold already. Sorry, dude. Got to go with the first one. You know, so, I mean, I really didn't like that agreement, how he kind of agreed with me and then did that. Next car was a 2001 bright red GT. The guy was kind of cocky kid to talk to. He said he wasn't selling it for himself. It was his customer's car. So I figured he was trying to make money on top of this thing. He says it's mint, can't go any lower, super firm on the price. So, I mean, I wanted to check this thing out. And he wouldn't send me pictures of the underneath that I requested. I thought that was weird. So then I show up. It looked great right away. So here's the car. Yeah, I pulled up. It looked good. It looked really good when I got out. And it said it had all these new parts, like new gas tank, new drive shaft, new exhaust, you know, all this type of stuff. And I mean, the second I kneeled down to look under this car, I mean, it was completely rotted. I wanted to kind of take videos of all this, but I was being pretty hard on these guys, and I don't know if I had the camera out, if they were going to think anything of it. But yeah, I didn't even bother driving this thing. Yeah, that was my car, that last one, obviously. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, he totally wasted my time. It was about an hour to get there. And so that was that one. And he wouldn't budge off like $5,000. And then he comes back like a few days later saying like 4,500. And I was like, dude, I would barely give you $2,000 for it. I mean, the thing's gonna break in half over the first bump. I mean, the radiator support's completely rotted. Alright, so I thought I was in the home free. The one after that was this one. It was priced a little higher. It was a 2004. Very brief description. The pictures looked very clean. Oh, very clean. Not that I cared for this color or anything like that. It's one of my least favorite colors. But if it was garage kept like he was saying and everything checked out, I mean, it was worth it at this point. I was getting tired of these cars and dealing with people. I mean, before this all happened, I had about 3 or 4 people I made deals with like that, and they sold the car on me or something and it fell through, or I was not quick enough even though the listing was listed 45 minutes ago and I wasn't quick enough. That type of stuff. So it was a struggle to get this guy to agree to a price, sort of, before I met up with him, because I wasn't going to pay $75. And so I finally meet up with this guy, and long story short, I mean, I'm like, is this the same car that's in the ad? I mean, it was that bad. It was scratches everywhere. The paint had those swirl cracks like it had been bumped or hit. I'm like, and you said this was garage kept, and he's getting all flustered. Oh, well, the guy before me garage kept it, and I took good care of it and stuff like that. Because I'm like, I was under the car, the first thing I do is go under the car, and this guy just kept telling me about the stock radio in it, like, you gotta hear the radio, you just gotta hear the sound system. And I was like, look, dude, I don't care about the sound system. That's the least of my concern. I need to make sure this thing's structurally sound. So I'm like, all right, I need to take it for a test drive. And it looked like he lived out of this car. I'm like, it was, I just wanted to drive it to get a basis of what these things even drove like. At this point, I was disappointed in the thing. And then I opened the door and saw how dirty it was inside with all like trash and bottles. And he said, I'm like, wow, you're selling this thing and you didn't even have the decency to like clean it out first. And it was kind of last minute, and I was meeting you, and I got to drive this car. And I mean, he drove it like 2 hours from work, like he says, to meet me. It was a pain in the butt. And and it was completely stock. I could not hear this thing taking off. I had to look at the RPMs and all that because I couldn't hear anything. It's the most quiet Mustang I've ever been in my life. And it was just miserable experience. And then, I was driving, and he had the nerve to say, this thing's a beast, huh? And I was speechless for like 2 minutes because I was like, you can't be serious. You can't be serious right now. Because, I mean, these things are dogs. If you've driven them, it's a 2-valve 4.6. They're doggy cars. So at this point, I was getting discouraged. And yeah, this Mustang, this one I messaged a week before all these other ones. I messaged him 20 minutes after this one got posted. And, his girlfriend posted it, and it looked clean from the pictures, and it's like they weren't ready to sell it yet. They're like, well, I didn't think it'd go this quick. And I'm like, yes, I need a car and that type of stuff. And they finally got back to me, like, after all these other ones failed. She's like, look, I'll give you my boyfriend's number directly, and you can talk to him. He's a correctional officer, and it's hard. He works all the time, so it's very hard for him to even be online, I guess. But so I went and looked at this one. This was my last one, and I said, I'm giving up after this. Oh yeah, that Mustang I bought, it had this thing on the hood. Someone put a Cobra emblem on the thing, and then that was the first thing I took off. Got the GT down there. the new one. That thing's gotta go. Got some long shafted shifter in here. I already ordered a stock one, short throw adjustable. So it's a 2001 black GT with 163,000 miles. And I got it for like $4,900. I wanted 45, but he wouldn't go any lower. He had it up there for 5,500. And it's alright. I mean, it's not my first choice for interior color, but it's cool driving something very different from the Cobra, because when I hop in that, it's just, you really appreciate it. So yeah, the good about this car, the seller was pretty honest. He was telling me about all the things that were pretty much wrong with it. Sounds all right. If anyone's a Mustang guru, knows I'm in 4th gear going this speed. So the good thing about it, it's got 410 gears. So I mean, I heard those pep these cars up a little bit. So I was happy about that. It's got BBK shorty headers with an H pipe that has cats, I believe. But then it's got the SLP catback that has, you know, those little mufflers. You can do the 5th gear thing now with this thing. Look at that shifter though. I couldn't stop laughing at that. But, so yeah, it's got that. It's lowered a little bit, so one of the tires is worn out on the inside. He put that on the back for me, and he gave me a brand new box with the strut tower adjusters there. Can't think of the name right now, but so I'll have to throw those on and get it aligned. Not a big deal. The other thing is the door bushings on this door. See the alignment there? It sags a little bit, so I gotta, me and a buddy will put those in. It's always easier with 2 people. It's not a bad sounding Mustang. I mean, it sounds very different than the Cobra, but it's cool to be in something different. I mean, this car I can hop in and I can not worry about bumps or anything. It is lowered just a little bit, not a lot, which I love, because it rides stock. The thing rides great. That's why I can't complain. The AC is ice cold on this car. It drives perfectly straight. The steering wheel's a little crooked because, I mean, that'll get fixed during the alignment, but I mean, look at this. I got my hands off the wheel. I mean, it drives straight. But the bad thing, and the e-brake's kind of like, it doesn't really work. It says it works if you really pull up hard on it, but it's the first time I ever have to put a car in gear always when I park. I've never been to someone to do that. I'm always a neutral guy with the e-brake on. But I guess this car is exception. And I'll give you a walk around video after. Usually it's the other order. You do the walk around, then the ride along. No tint on the front windows either, so that's gonna have to be done. Definitely. So I got a text halfway through the drive back. My dad brought me to this one. The other ones I had my friends bring me. This thing pops when you downshift. I love it. calls me up and he says, every time you stop and you take off, you have exhaust smoke coming out your left tailpipe. And I'm like, oh no. And I kind of smelt oil here and there on the way home. And he said he just changed the guy who had it before me only had this car for 2 months. He had put it on the road like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and then he got into Jeeps and he just wanted to sell it. His girlfriend's a Jeep lady. See, I got people right on my bumper again. It's super stressful. It doesn't matter which car I'm in. So yeah, the owner just wanted to get rid of it. So yeah, I noticed the smoke when I got home. I was like, oh shoot, it is smoking like blue smoke. And so I messaged the guy, and he swears he's never, seen any smoke before on it. He's like, I changed the oil 500 miles ago, and I know it hasn't gone down any, and nothing like that. I mean, ironically, I don't really see any smoke right now, so I don't know if it's just a new oil thing, but he said he put synthetic high mileage in it. I'm hoping it's not, because I was like, well, I was really planning on doing a motor swap yesterday. I was getting that in my head that, all right, I'm going to be doing a motor swap. No big deal. I haven't done one of those in a while. I've been waiting here for like a good 5 minutes straight. This is a back road, and it's just car after car after car. 2:30 in the afternoon. I mean, I swear, nobody works anymore. Everyone just drives around. Someone let me out. Someone held the traffic up, so that was nice. Can't believe it, how bad it is. It's a nice day too, beautiful day. So yeah, I noticed the smoke, and they say you can get these motors for pretty cheap. I always eBay everything first, and I saw them on there for like 1,200 bucks. So I mean, that's not that cheap. Weird thing is, the seller was mentioning like the motor. You can get these motors in the junkyard for like 300 bucks. My dad was telling me after we got back and noticed the smoke. He's like, yeah, it all makes sense now. He must have knew it did this and then checked into it. Why would he say motors are like 300 bucks you can get? But the guy wasn't really a Mustang guy to begin with. He acquired this car by trading a racing motorcycle that's worth like $8,000 to his friend, and they just swapped. So crazy. I get so many compliments on this car. It's probably because I don't go enough places in the other one. I kind of just take that one out for joyrides. Everyone loves the Mustang GT, including me. Oh yeah. So I took it out for a cruise, but not really smoking, just very, very little here and there. There we go. Some smoke. There we go. So that's the bad. So here's the car, guys. I'm a little tight over here. I can't back up anymore. Get around the other side so you can see it. Yeah, so right now it's got nothing for an emblem in the front. I actually kind of like it. It's It's got these ugly aftermarket headlights that will either have to go. Yeah, they'll probably have to go. Or I'll just leave them. I mean, it's a daily driver. Like I said, I want to retrofit the Cobra lights first. It's not bad. Daily driver. Paint's decent. It's like it's been painted over. Underneath isn't like rotted or anything. I mean, there's some rust here and there. But yeah, I think it's got H pipe with a stock, or H pipe with cats. And these SLP mufflers. That's actually similar style muffler I'm going to be putting on the Cobra. Straight through. Hopefully make it louder. It's got the SVE bullet wheels. It's the interior. Obviously it's not my first choice in color, like I said, but it's all here. It's pretty clean, no sagging headliner. It's pretty comfortable. Like I said, the shifter's gotta go. Brown and tan, it's like a mocha. Surprisingly, nothing rattles in here. That's weird. It's like they maybe glued stuff in here, but or maybe this thing just doesn't hit bumps hard enough to hear anything. Like, but yeah, you don't hear anything and when you drive this thing. Guess it's got the sequential tail lights too. Brake lights clean. Interior, the spare tire's still there. Still got most of this. I mean, it's pretty clean, but I'll probably find a cleaner one to put in the Cobra. I don't know. What is that? Stock amp. There's one on the other side. Yeah. It'll be good to have a Mustang as a daily driver. It's nice to just work on the same species of vehicle that you're just going to be driving all the time. This is literally for if you try to kidnap someone. So if somebody looks at that, they're like, oh, look, I can run away if I just pull this thing. The trunk will open. So all you people that might find yourself in a tight situation, here's your release. This is your key to freedom. Get this. This guy must have parked under trees. Up in New Hampshire, there's a lot of trees. Live free or die, right? But I mean, yeah. I can see some rust, like, behind here. And it's just, it is what it is. It's not a car I'm looking to soup up or anything. It's just, I'm gonna drive it, try and keep it as clean as possible. As clean as I can. Wow, look at this. Gotta love it. Got to love it. So I'm gonna try and video it with a, I wouldn't say a cold start. It's probably a almost cold start. Drove it a couple hours ago. And I'll do a rev. See if any smoke comes out. You know, because it's, maybe if I change the oil and use like a conventional, like a little bit heavier oil, maybe it will stop smoking, because sometimes I don't see it. Here's the engine. Looks like someone sprayed some like lithium crap in here. Stupid. It's your 2-volt. Your 2-volt. This is your 2-valve motor. Still looks like. Oh wow. That's great. Thing looks original. Got that cool air intake. But it is what it is. So I take it the motors that came in the Lincolns and stuff like that didn't have a horse on the top. That's what I would assume. And the guy said that these clips come loose, so he's like, this is my way to keep them on there with the zip ties because I'm not good at wiring. But I said that's not a problem, I can do that if need be. But I think I'm gonna wrap this thing up tonight and maybe work on the Cobra. I'm definitely gonna take the Cobra for a drive. It's been a few days, so I really miss driving that car. And good thing is it doesn't leak at all, and the motor is super quiet. It's like the guy said it. I mean, it's bone dry under here. As bone dry as bone dry gets. Not trying to hide anything. All right, guys. It's been real. Mr. Spider did not invite you. Until next time, but yep, this is the daily. Another Mustang added to the stable. Thanks for watching. God bless. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry. Yeah, and I'm in the Cobra. I'm back with a quick tip. It's summertime, the weather's getting nicer, and these people with lawnmowers are brutal. For people who have lawns that are right next to the main roads and stuff, these people don't care. They can't hear you coming in your car, and they spit stuff everywhere, and they could hit your car with some rocks and debris. So just keep an eye out, guys, all right? Be safe out there. God bless. I promise this is the real end.